riflemen really suffering. But now, Kettenkrad knocked out, grenades going off, killing Panzergrenadiers, and now in a full rout because he couldn't just get his men to stand still and decide where to stand and fight. Really not good. And now we see BARs up for the riflemen as well, really establishing his dominance, and really Hauptmann K not able to really land any decisive blow. He just seems to be unfocused, unsure as what to do, and just more reacting than actually acting to what's going on. Further, Gewehr 43s apparently really keen on the idea that it will somehow win the fight. Perhaps with the next patch they'll certainly be more useful, but really at the moment you should not just spam Gewehr 43s for all of your troops. You're better off saving your munitions for something else. For example, using all of those incendiary grenades he's managed to research, but he's not using them. I mean, he's getting upgrades, but not using them. He's getting buildings, but not really using them. It's 200 points. It feels smutted. And now, of course, again, Mr. Massmilano still has 500 victory points, and Captain K is still losing more and more. And let's return to him, who now has gone for infantry, meaning we have Rangers on the field, which will certainly only make it worse. One rifleman goes down to Gewehr 43 fire. Panzergrenadier is moving back. The other team moving in as well, closing in to try and help their other team. Rifleman firing away. Grenade going off, but it is way too short. Further rifleman going down, and we see an incendiary grenade going down on these Rangers who have been slow, but they just move through the fire, not really caring about such silly stuff as incendiary grenades. Thompson submachine guns, one bazooka killing a Panzergrenadier, sending out into the air, grenade going off, not hitting anything. Panzergrenadiers blasting away. The Rangers are exhausted, meaning they'll be less accurate, but for some reason the Panzergrenadiers are now pulling back instead of actually focusing. And now his Panzergrenadiers are moving ahead without support. Oh dear, what are you doing, Mr. K? Now see these riflemen with veterancy 2 apparently hanging around, having slaughtered an entire Panzergrenadier team. This is absolutely horrific, and now these Panzergrenadiers are moving into these BAR riflemen and forced to retreat under heavy fire. Outgunned and outnumbered. Absolutely horrific. Now see again another Panzergrenadier team moving out on its own, and we will possibly see a Panzer IV going out from this. It's really the only thing I could imagine that might save him now if he uses it properly. And he's actually managed to secure this victory point, but again his forces are way too spread out to actually land any decisive blow on what he needs to kill. The riflemen who are instead killing his men one by one and easily gaining veterancy, in particular now with the BARs, although by the next patch that will be lessened, but really right now Mr. K is basically feeding his Panzergrenadiers to the riflemen, making them tougher and tougher to actually deal with, and now with increased accuracy and of course taking less accuracy, they'll just be tearing apart his Panzergrenadiers, taking a bit of fire, but really considering the situation he probably could have taken much more if he didn't have all that veterancy, which of course was given to him more or less through poor tactics and strategy. And again Panzergrenadiers on the run now, Rangers as well charging in once more. And we see another Ranger team right here. No submachine guns yet, and we see the Panzergrenadiers trying to take this point. Assault team moving in, flamethrowers, bazookas and whatnot. Going to be nice, and we see a Panzergrenadier team here. Grenade going in though, killing 2 Panzergrenadiers, sending one out through the window, leaving the other at the feet of his comrade, and we can see quite nicely what's going on here. 2 Panzergrenadiers trying to hold the position, but they're not having much luck. All of these Rangers out in the open, but with so few Panzergrenadiers it's not going to mean anything, barely taking any damage with their elite armor. And yes indeed, Rangers are one of the few units to actually start out with elite armor. Also meaning, for example, if you use them to recruit a weapon, they will that weapon once recruited will also have its crew equipped with elite armor. And once again moving those Panzergrenadiers in. Why is he doing that? Get those Panzergrenadiers out of there, you don't want to lose them, not to this. And once more grenade going in and landing right through the window, and killing another Panzergrenadier before sending the last one running back in total panic. And now being forced into this small area, he's absolutely lost most of it, if not all. Only a few wounded Panzergrenadiers left. And now we finally see a Panzer F1 Panzer Infantry support tank apparently trying to salvage the situation. Blast its way through, but will it be enough, or will it all be for not considering his current war effort? Panzer IV charging ahead, absolutely unsupported. Oh no, I'm already sensing a tragedy here. Panzergrenadiers out in the open, not using cover, but now pulling back, retreating. In fact, the Panzer IV not supporting anything, or being supported. It's quite undescribable what's going on. I think it's... this can't really have been that great a player. But there you go, it's certainly going to be a good lesson in what not to do if you're playing as the Panzer Elite, and what you certainly don't want to do is spread out your troops and feed them to the Americans one by one. And in the meanwhile, he of course lost another fuel point because he didn't deal with those engineers when he could. He just ran around. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with Mr. K. Perhaps he's nervous, perhaps he's unsure what to do, and again he's going for these fuel points in some sort of attempt to harass them, but at this point it's much too late. It's not going to make any difference. What he wants to do is bleed the manpower out of Massmilano. He wants to actually kill something, but that seems to be the one thing that constantly escapes him. It's not about just the points, it's not just also about the terrain, it's also about inflicting losses on your enemy. And now the Panzer IV is at the front, but it's simply getting overwhelmed. It does have armored skirts, but there's not much supporting it. Panzergrenadier is really trying to blast away. Sticky bombs going off en masse on the Panzer IV, really doing a lot of damage. Will the anti-tank gun move in or not? I don't know. Panzer IV blasting away, killing a few, but... and why have no incendiary grenades been thrown into this mix either? I don't know. Panzer IV really taking heavy damage, but it does manage. He actually managed some heavy kills on the American, but he really needs to seize some points, and he really needs to capitalize on this probably and not throw it away. We see now a scout car really trying his best to get some territory. Let's see how this goes. Panzergrenadiers clearing out this anti-tank gun for the fatherland, but now we have an armored car and Rangers again moving in, and an off-map combat group, which means more anti-tank guns, a heavy machine gun and further riflemen. Really nasty. Panzergrenadiers on the retreat. Panzer IV infantry support tank engine is on fire. It's not really looking good. And now the armored car blasting away, killing a Panzergrenadier anti-tank gun, moving in, Rangers, everything. And oh dear, the engineers are once more moving in to harass and take this fuel point. Oh dearie me. And the Kettenkrad was knocked out, sending its driver on a tragic flight throughout the air before landing right near a crashed glider. Panzergrenadiers retreating through a mine, Greyhound hunting them down like a hound hunting down its prey. And engineers completely unharmed, but now taking fire and knocked out the one of the few kills this Panzer IV will make before something knocks it out. And victory points once more under the control. The scout car does look a bit exposed, but these engineers won't be able to deal much to it, although these riflemen might change that. Panzergrenadiers beginning to repair the Panzer IV, and apparently having given up, realizing he can't win the fight. So what can we learn as the Panzer Elite? You want to focus your forces. You don't want to actually run them around trying to capture all sorts of bits and pieces. You want them to focus on killing the enemy. Panzergrenadiers are best at killing things. If you really want to focus them on capturing territory, get them that upgrade. Otherwise, use Kettenkrads or scout cars or get more. Don't waste your Panzergrenadiers on that. I can't stress how important that is. Sure, if you've beaten back the American after a very bloody battle, yes, use them. Otherwise, if you suspect they're riflemen out there, ambush them, attack them, kill them, and force them back. Don't just throw away Panzergrenadiers like that. It really ended going against him as the riflemen gained veterancy too rather quickly. And well, I really think that was the main point. I mean, there was some good usage of garrisoning, so of course that. Mines was very well used by Mr. Massmilano, and of course the Germans constantly ran into this. I'm not sure why, he never really bothered checking for it. So there you go, a victory for the 1st Infantry Division as the Germans are forced back. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends. If you didn't, why not send in a replay of your own, and let's have a look at that. This is Imperial Dane saying, remember to focus your forces. Cheers.